we're close to releasing more information around the Leviathan protocol, which coupled with the Optima account, I feel like is a major step forward for Cardano DeFi.
I'm Neo in the Matrix of Goombles.
You're Hemi Neutron, bro. You're him.
Oh, Hemi Neutron, dude.
Looks like you're going for the multiple towers route instead of the... Oh, wait, hold up. I need upgrades right now.
Bro, I don't know, man. Maybe it was something that I did to the... I just haven't lost much health. Sweet.
I have been defeated, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, dude.
I got wrecked.
Dude.
To your
Bro,
absolute
we'll revive you.
military base over there.
Okay, welcome back to Top Secret Episode 9, and we have a lot to go over. First of all, it's Monday right now, and let's see if I already posted a Metaverse Monday link, because if not, I'm going to push it back. Okie dokie. No, I guess not. Cool. So I'm going to do that for tonight. Let's go 9 p.m. Okay, so if you want to tune in, Metaverse Monday, 9 p.m. tonight. Okay, so, because I said I would, let's recap. So, essentially, and I'll try to pull some stuff up here, I did a couple of things, and then I took off this weekend. So, here's one, and then let me go over here to this. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to share my screen now, and I don't know if someone is going to, maybe they just decided to message me back, so let's just see here. So I don't know if someone's going to just jump into this call, okay? That's all I'm going to say. And I do not have their permission to record them. So if they do, just know that that's all part of the plan. Okay, so first things first, we had Cardano over coffee. I was just in the mix talking about, they asked me how I got to be such a well-known figure in Cardano. And honestly, I just said some words. I don't know. And then they were talking about how I'm covering radix. And I think it was Jenny. She gave me a compliment saying that I can cover radix without receiving some of the tribal warfare that happens when somebody that is well known on one blockchain covers another. And I was just kind of thinking about it a lot since she brought it up, because I hadn't thought about it before. And it's a huge compliment. It is part of my strategy. I mean, I think exposing people to things is it's part of integrity. So if something looks really interesting and we don't know a lot about it, why wouldn't you want to learn about it? So that's been my mindset. When I was, strictly covering Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance Smart Chain back in early 2021. And I moved to covering stuff on Cardano when they just were about to get smart contracts. You saw some NFT projects. Whew. Guys, I lost my entire audience when I moved to Cardano. No one stayed. Maybe 2 people. And then they just wouldn't watch as frequently. So when I started YouTubing, right, I was doing all the things that I saw the big YouTubers doing. And then I learned that wasn't the way. I was doing the clickbait. I was finding the low cap gems, whatever. I was looking at TA. Now, I always say I'm not a TA expert or guy now because I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for exposing people to new technology. And I want to be known as somebody that is kind of when you look back in history, I was actually spitting some game. If you look at my channel in certain moments, I was actually looking at things and I was in the mix. I was trying to figure out what was going on with blockchain, and I was presenting ideas and solutions. and I was trying to make the ideas and solutions that I came across louder. And, you know, logically going over why I thought it was an idea that was worth being louder or a solution that was worth being louder. So I'm kind of just doing the same thing, just with a bit more experience, to be honest. And I think I definitely was in a different probably place back when I started. I was probably, you know, more focused on certain elements of blockchain, more focused on the cycles, more focused on making money. And, you know, you realize that's just not the way. I don't know how else to say it. It's not the way. It's not the way. I believe that in my soul. I don't think that you can be half pregnant. So, if that makes sense, then I think you understand what I mean. But you can't just go grab these sponsors that are like half-baked ideas and, you know, they pay you to talk about them, yada yada, and expect that content to be genuine. You can't do that. You can't fabricate the genuineness of content. So, you know, those are some thoughts around that, I guess. Not covering things in a tribal way is really important. I purposely invent a chip on my shoulder that, like, everyone is out to get me sometimes. So that way I can Michael Jordan my way through not being part of any tribe, if that makes sense. You know how Michael Jordan would invent these fake things about his opponents? Well, for me, I kind of do that, but I do that from, like, the standpoint of, like, oh, I'm not accepted on Cardano, I'm not accepted on Radix, I'm not accepted on any of these blockchains. Screw them all. I'm just going to do me and say the truth about each one. And I do that to my psyche as, like, a way to, I guess, stay true to being genuine. So, kind of fun. What else? Okay, so we had round 2 with this guy, Scott Chestnut. He did have me on the CNFT News. Alyssa couldn't make it. It was an awesome show. They come out with some great questions. This is me from, like, 2021. This was the first CNFT con ever, by the way. This is real footage from the first CNFT con. Not the second, but the first. And that's cool. So what I really liked about the interview that I had with them was they essentially came up with some really interesting, fun questions that weren't super crypto, and they call it the nonsense segment of their show. So you got through that, and then we started talking about, you know, hey, what's going on in your world, Jay? And I just told him my blanket thesis that I've had for like 2 years now, which is AI, immersive tech, which I call the metaverse, and the next generations of immersive tech, and then blockchain are the 3 most exciting things to pay attention to over the next 16 years. I've been saying it. I'm going to continue to say it. People like the immersive tech instead of metaverse branding that I came up with. I've heard nothing but good feedback. People ask me if they can say it, if they can steal it. I say, yeah, go for it. Say it, steal it, whatever you want. I don't care. And I basically go through some very, like, to get some of these ideas out, you need to build use cases in your mind of where this is all going. So you can show why they're the 3 most exciting technologies. And to do that, you have to understand each of them pretty well. So I came up with some half-baked use cases on the spot. Nothing better than what I've said, you know, when I have time to prepare, right? When I'm on my channel just grinding, coming out with use cases by looking at projects that are developing actual infrastructure. So I think these 3 are exciting to watch, but if you silo them and you only watch one, you're not going to get the full juice of Web3. Web3 is 2014, Gavin Wood says Web3. World starts saying it. 2018, the world knows it as a mainstream term. But how could you say Web3 is exciting with just blockchain? You need the other two things to talk about anything cool. AI NPCs, for example, you need AI. Boom. Already, if you want to own an AI NPC as a item in a game with blockchain, you're using AI, you're using immersive tech, which is this, 3D modeled character that speaks a certain way, is configured a certain way, like an AI personality would be. And, that's a blend of the three technologies. And you can own it as a gaming asset, and that's just a stupid one for games. But games build the foundations for things later. Remember that. Let me just see if this person's jumping on or not. Oh, okay, one sec.
Recording in progress.
Wow. And there it is, like magic, a legend. The legendary Zygobev has just spawned out of the tall grass like in a Pokemon game a legendary Pokemon would. Zygobev, hey man, so before we kind of get into this real quick segment, I should let people know that this was unexpected. Zygobev had no idea that I was going to record.
I still have no idea what this is about.
So I just wanted to catch up on a couple of things, man, because the first thing that I just wanted to catch up on is for, I guess, Optum, you have some things going on. Then last time that we chatted, I believe, was when you were working on Ethereal DAO on Radix. And
yes.
I wouldn't mind just getting your quick take on this, because I'm still going to be following Radix. I still think it's like really interesting to follow and whatnot. And I understand your statement from Ethereal DAO was, and it goes back to what you've been kind of saying at these events too, because I've listened to Zygomev at some of these events like in Dubai, and certain ideas fail at a certain scale, certain ideas take a certain scale to even begin or even potentially succeed. And I think that was a good overarching theme for why maybe you guys didn't have the enough scale from Radix to launch something like Ethereal DAO. But I was curious if you could kind of give us like, hey, is there anything that you're seeing on Radix's end that worries you? Or is it sort of like if they can still grow and stuff, there's still potential there?
I fundamentally think that the tech is interesting. They've chosen a path which can lead to some pretty good outcomes. Some pretty good stuff pretty easily can be done, created on it. My concerns were, twofold between economical and people issues. And not the tech people issues, just, the other people. Primarily around marketing, some, weird behavior, some, generally builder support, which is very much non-existent. They have at least tried something, but, it's a big ask still. And for a project like a stablecoin, it's a big commitment. Sorry, I keep hearing myself, it's distracting me. It's a big commitment to actually deploy something. Because if it breaks, it's always a pretty big deal. So, unlike protocols which are, dealing with something like an exchange, which you can just spin down, a protocol that creates something, like synthetic or, stablecoin, it's intended to be forever.
Yeah.
And there's not an easy way to just spin it down in a way that is as fair as a decentralized exchange would be. So.
No, and I respect you for just having that awareness, because it is kind of like signing a deal with the devil. Certain projects, when you launch them, you're committing to a very long time frame too. and I don't think a lot of people actually.
I mean, not necessarily like as far as the team goes. The team could just abandon the project eventually, and if it's maintained well, all the components are functional, then there's no problem.
Right.
As long as all the incentives, alternative front ends or whatever. Like if the maker team were to, abandon it, it would still function. If synthetics team also still function. On Cardano it's slightly different because of the requirement of off-chain thing. So that's, slightly more problematic there.
If the stable coin falls like the London Bridge, then that's
that's always a bad thing.
Yeah.
To your main point, so you asked,
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? So ask again. What's your question again?
So what's kind of going on with Optim these days? Because obviously you made that move, Ethereal DAO, huge commitment, couldn't, but now it's really the Optim team that you're putting all your efforts towards?
Well, I mean, right now there's this period of high effort, I would call it.
Okay.
While I'm seeing where exactly Ethereal should go, and we'll see what happens with it.
Okay, so it's still a thing,
It's like in between thing.
It might be a thing.
Might be a thing. I want to make it a thing because I like the designs I have come up with.
Yeah.
So.
And then the IBO will just be returned. Everybody's staking rewards.
Yes, it's in the process.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Anything you want to mention on Optim? Yeah.
Hmm?
Anything that you do want to mention on Optim?
Yeah. So we're close to releasing more information around the Leviathan protocol, which coupled with the Optim account, I feel like is a major step forward for Cardano DeFi.
Okay,
So,
that sounds like
pretty big.
cutting edge. Some cutting edge intel.
It is cutting edge.
Okay, so the Leviathan protocol.
Leviathan protocol, just Leviathan. Optim's Leviathan. I'm not sure what's the word for it yet.
So I've heard of Leviathans before Zygomeb in books and stuff, but what's this Leviathan protocol?
A few things. Well, the name is chosen for primarily two reasons.
Okay.
There's a book which has some allegory to how this protocol works.
Oh, really?
Plus,
wow.
yeah. Plus, obviously, to mirror Hydra.
Right.
As a mythical beast.
Oh, wow. Okay. So is this going to be a scaling solution then, or is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
It's kind of like a way to have a layer 2, which is not really a layer 2. It's just like a scaling thing. I'm not sure you can have to call it like layer 1.5,
Would you
layer half.
So all the assets that would go onto this layer and a half could be Cardano native assets without bridging to it?
Well, it is fully on layer 1, but you have to get into it.
And can you get out of it easy?
Yeah, it's the same way you would get into it. But those transactions need to settle, which is the quirk there. It's easier to get in than it is to get out.
Interesting. But you're not bridging to it?
You're bridging into the future. And to get... to bridge out, you have to... wait for the future.
You have to wait till the future becomes the present.
Yes. Because what it does is working on the concept of, essentially upgrading from a deterministic transaction to a guaranteed transaction, which, thanks to the setup,
That sounds
allows us to upgrade from liveness to finality by induction. So this is to like touch on the prior sort of research we've had as on transaction chaining.
Yeah.
That wasn't fully sound because it can break, as in there's competition for the VXOs. So the idea is if you can eliminate those chain breaks entirely, i.e. upgrade from the concept of the deterministic to the guaranteed, and that's done with the help of the Optimum account smart contract suite, you can basically transaction chain into infinity.
Damn. So this solves a huge contention issue that you would deal with facing just on the L1 of Cardano. Which
yes, well,
DeFi.
and this is not just that.
Okay.
Because this gives us an opportunity to also address other problems with Cardano smart contract development. And then there's like a requirement underlying all this to actually interface with those contracts. How would you even if the ledger is going 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 in a sequence, you actually need to be decoupled from those deterministic transactions. You need to have a way somehow to work with intents or messages, right?
Yeah,
instead of
that's interesting.
transactions Cardano directly.
Yeah.
So this is where the Optimum account comes in with its intent-based transactions, which then also, have this funny way of working with Cardano smart contracts. Sorry, it just keeps distracting.
Yeah, no, I have the same kind of thing with my headphones where you hear yourself. But yeah, so, okay, that seems very interesting. And I guess, this engine is already complete? Or is there,
No, the engine is still being worked on.
Okay.
The idea in our off-chain transaction chaining infrastructure is there.
Yeah.
We just need to finalize the contracts.
Is there
I know it's a lot of work.
Is there any adverse effects this could have to Cardano?
Adverse?
Yeah, because I haven't even thought of one, but this seems kind of like a whole new dimension that could be added to Cardano if it's successfully engineered and pulled off, where you can have a lot of potential for DeFi all of a sudden on this layer 1.5. And I just don't know if there's any adverse consequences of giving people that option. Or
I'm not sure. I mean, ultimately, this is still limited by the L1.
Yeah.
It does no compression, and it's just, doing regular Cardano transactions with overhead of this whole thing going on with the smart contracts. So, ideally, we will see an upgrade to those parameters in the near future so that this can scale more.
Wow. Okay. Cool, man. So,
and
yeah.
This type of solution only really can allow input endorsers to have any sort of real impact. Because without solutions that are tailor-made for basically the infinite transaction chaining, input endorsers are quite useless because you still have this coupled user interaction with determinism that still has the same finality as base Cardano always has. Because input endorsers only enhances throughput, not finality. And this enhances finality.
Yes.
And also addresses the whole user experience issue.
Yeah, so this was looking at input endorsers coming down the pipe as well. So that was a huge part of the thought process with Leviathan. Is like, hey, input endorsers, we gotta,
Well, I don't think it was that big of a concern because nobody knows when and if at all
True.
it will come.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like, yeah, cool. This will actually make this
But it would make
thing possible.
It would make input endorsers more useful to your
Oh. Yeah, let's call it that.
Yeah. Okay.
More useful as in, actually usable, able to be leveraged properly.
Right, because of that finality. Okay. Cool, man. So that seems like a big project then. That seems like it's going to take a lot of probably time and work.
It's not that big.
Okay.
But the stages to delivery are, well, in stages. Meaning it will start more centralized, more straightforward and simple, but actually, able to be delivered on a time frame which is, not that far into the future.
Right.
Q1, ideally.
Wow. Okay. So ideally Q1. That
I mean, really, the remaining tasks is the smart contract and, some additional off-chain infrastructure.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I think this could be big. Any thoughts on things outside of that then, like Midnight or AI?
Midnight is probably going to be cool. I mean, I don't think it is principled enough, as in it has too much corporatism for like a privacy-caring crowd to really be attractive.
Yeah. And
As in, I'm interested in like blockchain privacy, but this I don't think will cut it. Like it's far too non-principled. And then I'm not saying that's bad people that are doing it, but it's just that between things like Monero, DarkFi, you have all those anarchists working on it with like principled, like from the ground up, all anonymous.
Yeah.
That's what you actually want to see.
Okay. Now, can this hit a market where it's still useful for certain use cases that aren't for the whole, V for Vendetta types?
I mean, I'm all for it, but unless I see a manifesto, I don't care.
What about like the integration of like zero knowledge proofs and like AI or like training LLMs with zero knowledge proofs?
I don't really care about that.
You don't care?
Like AI, ZK, Fugazi.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm glad I asked. What about AI interests you these days? Anything, Zagomeb?
AI. I mean, I'm just vaguely following.
Yeah.
Nothing specific. It's interesting.
Like the
Lots of things happening at once.
Gene editing stuff or biohacking?
I'm interested in that, but it's quite risky.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like the first one. I always say to like get my genes hacked. Yeah, man. So, anyways, Zagomeb, dude, thank you so much. This was an unexpected gift to have the legend Zagomeb. I'll pause the recording and I'll just chat with you.
Yeah, just make sure to work that one segment out.
Yeah, I will.
Good.
It was the biggest alpha, and Zagomeb just said, "Hey, man, I probably shouldn't have mentioned it." And, now I just got the burden of carrying the biggest secret in Cardano.
No, it's not a secret.
I'm kidding. It was not
It's
bad.
not like a thing which I'm uncomfortable with having out in the open. If it were to be in the open.
We just gotta be careful.
But
with
it's
the
just
words.
this, weird, like, regulatory thing.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just messing with people that were watching for a sec. All right. Let me
Yeah.
pause this.
Recording in progress.
Wow. What an unexpected turn of events. We had Zygomeb on, which was crazy. I forget where I was in the show. Episode 9. So the Leviathan is like all I'm thinking of right now, but let's just keep rolling with the top secret show, I guess, right? Yeah, man. So right now, I like to take a look at where we're at. We're in Christmas time. Did this thing with Scott Chestnut. And shout out to Tyler. Made sure to put a little Tyler shout out there. Okay, so we did the No BS Radix research episode, and I forget which episode that was. Which episode was that? Let's see. It was 8. Episode 8. So I gotta post that still. We talked about oracles. We talked about a bunch of stuff, but most importantly, Russell Harvey came on to brief us on sort of what the edge case was that happened, where the network went down. They updated a new node version. All the validators got behind it, and it was an edge case. It was something that was, on the far boundary of what could occur, and they solved the I guess investigation of what went wrong, and then they later on updated the new node version. Then all the validators went on and updated to that, yada yada. He was on the full space. Other than that, we got to talk with someone. I think Nikolai brought up what atomic composability actually is versus when I just kind of fly out and say it at the end. And we went down the rabbit hole of what atomic composability is, which is great. We talked a lot about the radix testnet for tracking if it can publicly handle. Now, this is a public test, right? There's a lot of tests out there that are done in private. They're white papers, but this is a public test with real validators to show that 1 million TPS is possible. So we talked about that. No BS Radix Research episode 9, I guess, will be next week. Had a fun game with Farmer Nash. We played about 5 times. I have all the footage. I still want to release it as a appended jspeak late night show where we're playing for a while there, and there's a lot of fun banter. There's a lot of funny things that happen. There's a couple things that Farmer Nash tried to do, but I was able to either retaliate or definitely, surprise him. And there was a lot of fun there, so I posted this. Had a chance to beat Farmer Nash because this is the clip that he recorded. There were other games where he did win out of the two of us, so I will say that, to be honest. But all in all, pretty pumped for the times that I came victorious, and I developed a strategy. At the end here, you can see it worked pretty well. After about 4 or 5 games, I learned the game and was able to beat the guy who made it, and that's how we do it. So other than that, we have Metaverse Monday tonight at 9 p.m., which is change of pace. Woo! Okay, so huge shout out again to Lido, to Nudes. Nudes is a great speaker, man. Nudes is a great speaker. To Hero, to Jenny, to Scott Chestnut, to Alyssa and Trevor, to Tyler, to Farmer Nash, and we're in a new week. We got the holidays. A lot of people are taking breaks, but I want to be sure to post some stuff as we get new intel to discover, like Leviathan, like Zygomeb just dropped today, which is really interesting. And we're going to keep doing what we do. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then on the next Top Secret. And this is episode 8, I'm pretty sure. So the next one, let's just make sure, is it episode 8? I think there is a meetup, by the way, coming soon on Pavia. I thought I saw that. They released some cool demo here of Pavia Studios. 13th of December, there's going to be a meetup, so I'll probably go to that too. What was I looking for? I was looking for something. I think it was okay, so this top secret episode 8. So this is 9. So this is episode 9. And on this one, I did a lot of pop cultural coverage, talking about some events that really are just kind of like whatever. And, you know, that's always good stuff. But nonetheless, folks, thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you on the next top secret. Have a great day. And remember to keep everything that we said here, especially with Zygomeb, top secret. I don't know why I blew up my finger. Peace.